Watch the Mega Millions drawing live tonight here on TV23. Covering the High Plains with news, weather, and information. From TV23 Studios in Sublette, this is High Plains Today.
Good Tuesday, everybody. It is December 22nd, 2015. Hey, you have 3 shopping days, counting today, left until Christmas. Welcome to High Plains Today on TV23. Today, my good friend Dr. Jack Jacob will be here. We're going to talk about bowls again because there's still a bunch of them to go. Let's take a look at happenings out there. A 2-vehicle accident this morning has claimed the life of a Sublette woman. Now, the accident occurred at about 1:30 a.m., 2 miles north of the 8356 intersection of Sublette. A 2008 Jeep Wrangler being driven by 56-year-old Jill Kenman of Sublette was westbound on County Road 170 when she failed to yield at stop sign and struck a northbound Kenworth semi driven by 37-year-old Tony Lemons of Guyman. Now, and it hit on the passenger side. Now, Kenman, she died at the scene and was not wearing her seatbelt. On December 17th, the Garden City Police Department received a call of a possible kidnapping in progress. It was reported by a family member that a 33-year-old female was being held against her will at an unknown location in Garden City, and the captives were requesting an undisclosed amount of money for the victim's safe return. A predetermined location and meeting was set up with the suspect. When the suspect and the alleged victim arrived on the scene, they were taken into custody by police. Further investigation revealed that the alleged victim was never in any danger and that this was a scheme in an attempt to receive money from the family member. Not very well thought out, I'm thinking. On December 19th, a burglary was reported at Signature Auto Sales in Garden City. At approximately the same time, other officers located a suspicious vehicle that was found to have been stolen from Signature Auto Sales. Now, the investigation revealed that an unknown suspect forced entry into the business and stole several sets of keys to vehicles on the sales lot. Reports indicate that Signature Auto Sales had advised officers of suspicious activity earlier in the day and provided a description of a male subject. Now, the investigation concluded with the arrest of 19-year-old Adrian Gomez of Garden City. Gomez is charged with burglary, auto theft, and criminal damage to property in 2 separate incidents. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says it's investigating more recent cases of E. coli cases linked to Chipotle and that it does not yet know if they are linked to the larger outbreak that began at the end of October. So far, the agency says 5 people have been identified in the new outbreak, including 1 in Kansas up in Johnson County, 1 in North Dakota, and 3 in Oklahoma. It says those illnesses started between November 18th and November 26th, and all 5 say they ate at a Chipotle the week before they got sick. Governor Sam Brownback and top Republican lawmakers say they plan to cut spending rather than raise taxes after lawmakers return to Topeka next month. The state faces a projected $170 million budget shortfall for the fiscal year that begins in July. Now, Brownback will present his budget, including his plan to fix the shortfall in the second week of January as the 2016 legislative session begins. Now, the governor did say he planned to find ways to cut rather than change the tax code. Lawmakers have hired efficiency experts to help in this process this session. And the Senate's top Republican on Friday predicted a short legislative session in 2016 unless the Kansas Supreme Court orders lawmakers to take action on school funding. Senate President Susan Weigel of Wichita said she believed lawmakers wouldn't engage in a tax debate after the legislature's longest session ever this past spring. Weigel endorsed further income tax cuts, but stopped short of embracing the March to Zero advocated by Governor Brownback. And as the drone popularity keeps growing, so do the number of regulations. Experts say it's important to know the rules, including how to register the drone with the federal government. Now, beginning yesterday, all drones and unmanned aircraft will have to be registered through the Federal Aviation Administration. Concerns over safety and privacy with the use of the unmanned aircraft have been one reason the federal policy has been put in place. Now, you can register the aircraft by visiting FAA.gov. It's free, and any registration done between December 21st and January 20th of 2016 is free. And that's a look at happenings. Stick around. Be back with not a bad forecast until next week. And that's about it. Be back in a minute.
You're watching High Plains Today on TV23 with host Chris Jewell. TV23's internet service and 4G live streaming provided by United Wireless. Coverage you deserve. Service you expect. United Wireless.
Feel connected, informed, included, inspired. So when important things happen, we're here. Your local TV and radio broadcasters. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information. On every screen in your life. We are broadcasters. Always here for you, wherever here may be. Text TV to 52886. Tell Washington local stations matter.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Now, the local weather forecast for the High Plains.
And as we look off to the northeast on the TV23 tower cam, you can see it is pretty cloudy out there. But the temperatures are not bad, so don't worry, sunshine is on its way. As we look at the readings here at the studio, 49 degrees, 57 the relative humidity. Winds are out of the southwest at 10. Barometric pressure is falling. As we look at the current temps, see, everybody's starting to warm up. We're looking at 54 in Liberal, Perryton, and Guyman. Those are the hot spots. Everybody else in the 40s. And we look at our current dew points, everybody in the 20s and 30s, so it's not really too bad out there. Winds are pretty much out of the west-southwest, except for Lamar. They always like to be about a half a tick off out of the northwest, but everybody else out of the south-southwest. Looking at our highs and lows as recorded at the Garden City Regional Airport, 53 was the high yesterday, 64 back in 1950, 26 was the overnight low, -7 back in 1990. No new precipitation in the bucket. Looking at our forecast for today, 59 degrees. The sun is going to try really, really hard to come out. Winds are only going to be out of the southwest at 15. That's not too bad. Tonight, 31 degrees. Winds are still going to stay out of the south-southwest at 16. Tomorrow, 49 degrees. Lots of sunshine. Winds are going to be out of the north-northwest at 13. Afternoon, they're going to shift around to the south. And then tomorrow night, 25 for the low. Southeast winds out of 13, shifting around to the northwest. Looking at our 7-day, you can see we get into Christmas Day, 54 degrees. But then look out. Everybody's talking about it. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's on its way. Big storm coming. And it's creating quite a lot of havoc in the Pacific Northwest right now. But up until Christmas, we're up in the 40s and 50s for our highs. Lows in the 20s and 30s. That's a look at the weather. Stick around. Be back with the markets and Dr. Jack after this.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs? Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm home. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org. Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Welcome back. Now joined by my good friend, Dr. Jack Jacob. He just makes me laugh sometimes before we're going on the air. We're talking about bowl games today, and he said there's playing the Girl Scout team from such and such or whatever. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. How are you today?
I'm good, man.
Good, good. Okay, so first thing he says, he walks in today into the station, says, "Did I call it or what?" I said, "I can't remember which one." And it was
the BYU-Utah game.
Yep.
I said that would be the one to watch.
Yes.
And you got a little bit of everything.
Yes, you did.
BYU had 5 turnovers in the first quarter. It looked like it was going to be a runaway. It ends up being a 7-point game, 35-28.
It was. Okay. So that was a 5-point game. And, and BYU started out that game just, they were terrible. What did you say Brent Musburger said had the best line of the season?
He apologized to all his Mormon friends for BYU's performance
in the first quarter.
So.
Yeah, that was funny. But you called that one. But I'll tell you what, all those games that were on Saturday, we're talking about there were 6 games on Saturday, all of them weren't bad football to watch. I mean, because they were all within 7 points pretty much.
Except the last one.
Well, the last one was 10 points, but, still, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
And then you had yesterday was the Miami Beach Bowl with Western Kentucky and South Florida. And you're going, really? But then it was 14-10 South Florida at the half. And then those two came back and combined scored 56 points in the second half. And Western Kentucky won by 10.
And my guess is most people didn't see the 56 points because you probably turned the game off at halftime.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But so far, the Bulls, and there's 42 of them, right? Or 41, something like that. It's 40-something. But to start off with, the first 6 or 7 haven't been too bad. And, we're going into today. We've got some more bowls today. You got the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, in case you're wondering, and the Boca Raton Bowl. That's Toledo and Temple.
And that could be a good game. Temple was the team that everybody thought was going to just run away with everything. They were undefeated going into the Notre Dame game, lost that one, then turned around and lost to South Florida.
That's true.
And then lost to Houston in the last week of the season. So they went from, looking like they could have an undefeated season to being 10-3, which is still very respectable.
Yes, it is. It is.
But they should play well in this bowl game, I would think.
Okay. So let's jump to the Big 12 bowls that are coming up. The first one is on the 29th is the Advocare V100. I don't know what V100 is. Texas Bowl, and that's going to pit LSU against Texas Tech, and that's going to be in Houston. Now, you seem to think that LSU is going to be upset enough that they're just going to go in there and light poor Texas Tech up.
Well, Fournette's got to try to play his way back into the good graces of the draft boards.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So you expect him to play well. You certainly expect that LSU to have a chip on their shoulder because they go from looking like they're going to be one of the premier teams in the SEC to just get knocked around the last few weeks, and now they're playing Texas Tech, who 7-5, and they get in shootouts with everybody.
And has pretty much of a suspect defense.
So you combine a really strong offense against a weak defense. And then on the other side, the LSU secondary is pretty stingy.
Yes.
And Texas Tech kind of relies on those deep balls.
They do. They throw the ball around just a little bit.
So it'd be pretty interesting to see. I could easily see this being a 5 or 6 turnover game for the Red Raiders.
Okay, so let's get into, on New Year's Eve, though, there's two biggies that are going on. The Capital One Orange Bowl and the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. And you've got in the Orange Bowl, number 4 Oklahoma taking on number 1 Clemson for a spot in the national championship game.
Yeah, and again, I know that this will make everyone not my friend, but
no, just OU fans, I guess. With a statement like that, it's just the OU people.
But you look at last year's Clemson OU matchup, and it was embarrassing. It was just flat out embarrassing. Really, both teams have gotten stronger, I would say, this year. The big question that I have is, will Clemson find a way to shut down Samaje Perine? If they can, Oklahoma's in trouble. If they can't, if there's enough of Baker Mayfield doing the razzle dazzle and then being able to hand it off or the pitches and those kind of things to Pirine, I think that Oklahoma will stay in this one and they could win.
Yeah.
But you combine that with kind of the traditional Bob Stoops choke in bowl games kind of situation, and it could be bad.
Big game, Bob. I know he wanted to say it. I know he did. Okay, so you're looking at Clemson in that one. All right. Michigan State, Alabama in Dallas, Cotton Bowl.
You know, again, I'm going to go against conventional wisdom here, but I like Michigan State in this matchup. I really do.
Really?
You know, everybody talks about Alabama. They're unbeatable. Well, they're obviously not because they got beat this year. But they talk about how good they are. They talk about their quarterback play. Everybody's high on Alabama now because A.J. McCarron snapped the Alabama quarterback going to the NFL losing streak. They hadn't won a quarterback coming out of Alabama in the NFL hadn't won a game since 1987.
That's true.
And now everybody's high on Alabama again. But I like what Michigan State does. Number one, they play with a fire, almost a chip on their shoulder. It's like they want to prove to everybody that they deserve to be in those discussions. And I wonder how much that comes into play when you go against a team that a lot of people have just already chalked the win up in their column.
That's true.
I think
like
Michigan State.
I think D'Antonio will have them ready too.
I do, and he's very familiar with Saban. He knows. They both know each other extremely well from previous coaching experience. So, but I like the Michigan State play. I guess the reason I like more than the Derrick Henry and Alabama side is you don't really have that one standout player for Michigan State. It's more of a team effort.
True.
And you see it in the way tackles are distributed amongst the defense. You look, anytime there's anyone from the defensive secondary in on play, there's 2 or 3 in on play.
They're sneaky. Michigan State be sneaky good.
They are.
They're sneaky good.
And I wouldn't, I think they can win that game. I kind of think the final will come down to Clemson and Michigan State. And if it does, I think that's going to be a barn burner of a game because they're so similar.
So when you get back from vacay next week, we get into the first week of January, and we're going to talk about the national championship game. You're thinking we're going to be talking about Michigan State, Clemson.
And who knows, we could be talking about Oklahoma, Alabama.
We could be. Okay, all right. Let's touch on, really quick, we got Oklahoma State and Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. Your alma mater, Oklahoma State, how are they going to do?
Again, that's a little bit of a trick to predict. I want to say from just pride that Oklahoma State will win, but
which team's going to show up, right?
That's the problem on both sides. I mean,
that's
on
true.
both sides.
That's true.
Both sides have had remarkable play this year, and both sides have stunk it up. So the question is going to be who comes out to play, who can adjust to that stage and settle down and play their game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on that. Okay, and then last but not least, we got like 15 seconds. K-State, Arkansas. I know the spread on that is Arkansas plus 13.
Right. Yeah, they have Arkansas picked to kill K-State. The problem is you never count out Coach Snyder. He'll have those guys prepared. The question will be whether they believe they can win. They were going to have a team vote. If they lost the final game of the year, they were going to have a team vote of whether they even went to a bowl. They won to make it 6-6, so they got the automatic invitation. But the question will be whether they believe they can do it, and I think that will, as much as quarterback play or the running game, will determine the outcome of that game.
I think you got to take K-State in the points. I don't think Arkansas can beat it by 13. All right, Brian's yelling at me. We got to go. Dr. Jack, thanks for coming up today.
Yeah, man.
Have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
We'll see you next year, okay?
All right.
All right, stick around. I'll be back with more after this.
You want to feel connected, informed, included, inspired. So when important things happen, we're here. your local TV and radio broadcasters. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information on every screen in your life. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Text TV to 52886. Tell Washington local stations matter.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 110 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 600% increase in the last 20 years. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm home. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
And welcome back. Hey, tell you what, this is our last show this week. We've got engagements in Wichita. So we are going up. We are going to help broadcast the Christmas Eve service, midnight mass at the Immaculate Conception Cathedral in Wichita. It will be shown on KWCH. I shouldn't say that. I'll probably get yelled at for talking about the competition. But anyway, that airs at 11:05 on Christmas Eve. So we'll be up setting up the cathedral and doing that. That's always a lot of work, but it always is a good time. Hey, and then on Christmas Day at noon, tune in. You can watch the First Southern Baptist Church Christmas program that they did last week. You can watch that on Christmas Day at noon as well. So we want everybody to go out, have a Merry Christmas, and be safe. And let's take one last look at our weather. I think it's coming up. There it is. It is now 49 degrees out, relative humidity 58%. Winds are out of the south-southwest at 9. Barometric pressure is still falling. As we look at the 7-day, okay, we're going to be good up through Christmas, but there is a 50% chance of rain and snow sliding in here on Saturday and Sunday and Monday. They're talking about this being the storm of the century. Nobody really knows. There's about 10 different models out there. But anyway, keep your eye on the weather. Have a Merry Christmas. Be safe out there, everybody. We'll see you back here hopefully next Monday.
Keep up to date with the latest information from TV23 on our Facebook page, KDGL TV.
Hi, I'm Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs at noon weekdays right here on TV23. Hey, do you think you have an idea for something that would make a great segment? Somebody that would make a great interview? What about a community event that needs highlighting? Let us know here at the station. Email us news@kdgltv.com. Hi, Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs weekdays at noon right here on TV23. We talk about news, we talk about sports, we talk about weather, we're even going to talk entertainment. We'll have live guests right here on set with me. So, every day at noon, tune in, High Plains Today. We'll see you then.
Weekdays here on TV23.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.